Lads, a common thing to do with this is I have, for example, 2x over 7 equals 4. Now, here's the very important thing to remember here, right? So I want to get the whole goal of the question is a solved question. What happens at the end of all solved questions? Every single solved question you'll ever do, what will happen? The x will be on its own at the end of the question. Everybody cool with that? Okay. Now, Jay, what's preventing the x from being on its own? The 2. The 2 is being multiplied by the x. So what happens when you bring the 2 over the other sides? Multiplication turns into what? What does multiplication turn into? Division. So the 2 needs to go underneath the 4. Is that cool, you guys? Where does the 7 go? The 7 is division. And what happens to division? So 4 times 7? 28 divided by 2? 14. Some of you might not like that way of doing it. I have a second way of doing it. If you pay attention, that'll be very handy. Okay, here's another way of doing it. Do they have the same denominator? Do they have the same denominator? No. So if you put a 7 on top, you're going to have to put, if you put a 7 on the bottom, you're going to have to put a 7 on top, aren't you? 4 times 7? 28. Okay, now, because there's 7s on both sides, did you ever see the way there's 7s on both sides? The 7s don't matter then. Let me explain why. Y'all listening? If I said x over 7 equals 3 over 7, what could you tell me x is? What could you tell me x equals? 3. If I said x over 7 equals 3 over 8, could you say the x equals 3 now? Why not? Bottoms aren't the same, aren't they? So when the bottoms are the same, lads, when the bottoms are the same, you basically, you can ignore them. So we get 2x equals 28 and x equals 28 divided by 2, 14. And then you prefer the second method over the first method. Just one of you. All right. I think the second method would lend itself better to us. Yeah, exactly. All right. So lads, look at this one. Question 5. Now lads, what we're going to do here. So lads, what we're going to do here is this. Looking? We good? Okay. Here's your 3 numbers. I would like to find a common denominator. Anybody have an idea what common denominator would be? 12. Everybody cool with 12s? All right, so here's what we're going to do. Put that as, what's this one going to be? That's going to be 4 and 4. This one here. 2 and 2. This one here. Okay, what do we get then? 16a over 12. This one. 26 over 12. And then over here. 3a over 12. Now, because the 12s are on both sides, do they matter now? They don't. So I'll give you an example. 3 over 12 plus 1 over 12. Would you all agree that's 4 over 12? Is that equation balanced? Is the equation balanced? Now, if I was to get rid of the 12s don't exist anymore. Is the equation still balanced? So the only thing that keeps the balance is the top part, not the bottom part. So if I did make those 12s disappear, it's a solved question. What's the goal of a solved question? Get the letter on its own on the left side. So that to me means bring the 3a to the left and bring the 26 to the right. What happens then? Equals. How are you getting 13a? They're different objects though. As in, you can't take 3 apples away from 16 laptops. They're different objects, so you can't interact with them. Oh, sorry, I haven't done that yet. Sorry, I'm about to do that now. 16a from 3a is Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's the next line. Oh, no, never mind. I thought I misinterpreted you. So 13 multiplied by a is 26. How do you figure out what a is? Thirteen is multiply or divide on the left, which is 2. Okay, you cool with that? So are you at this stage for question 8 where you multiplied it by 2? You got 4x minus 10 over 6, did you? And then you got 3x minus 7 over 6 as well. Now the 6's don't matter anymore because they're the same on both sides. So it's a solved question. What's the goal of a solved question again? X is on one side, other numbers are on the other side. Did anybody get x equals 3? You can multiply both sides by minus, or you can divide by -1, whatever way you want to do it. Either way, x equals 3. That's question 10. Okay. Looks question 10 is important because we're going to have a few of these later or tonight. Right. So look at this, gents. Right. Express as a single fraction. Okay. Now, what's the common denominator? You've been doing this since the start. What's the common denominator? Between 5 and 2. 10. So multiply this by 5 and multiply this one by 2. 15x take 5 plus 4x take 2 all over 10. Finish it off. What do we get? 19x minus 7 all over 10. Is that all right? Now, am I allowed to cancel the 10? Yay or nay? Hands up if you don't know. Being honest. Hands up if you don't know if you cancel the 10 or not. Right, I have an answer for you, right? So, here's scenarios. Is 30 over 10 the same as 30? If I cross off the 10, I said 30 over 10, is it the same as 30? What's 30 divided by 10? 3. Is 30 divided by 10 the same as... No. So in this case, I can't just cross off the 10 because it changes the number. Would you agree with that? Now, I can cross off the 10 when it's a solved question and both sides have a 10. So I'll give you an example. X over 10 equals 12 over 10. See the way they both have a 10? You can ignore the 10's existence and just say x equals 12. In that case, you're allowed to cross the 10s, right? But this is not a solved question, is it? The second question is a solved question. Great. Now, here's what we're going to do with the second question. Second question, what we're going to do with the second question is we're just going to start from scratch, like so. What's the common denominator? So lads, what's the common denominator in this question? Still 10, isn't it? And see the way 5 is the same as 5 over 1? Okay, so here's what we're going to do now. Ready? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to multiply this by 5, this by 5, this by 2, this by 2, and over the other side. What are we going to do over here? How do you turn 1 into 10? 10 top and bottom. So we're going to get 15x minus 5 again, all over 10. We're going to get our 4x minus 2, once again, all over 10. And we're going to get our 50 over 10. What happens next? What happens to the 10s? Why did it disappear? The solved question, isn't it? And there are 10s on both sides. Add them together, what's it? 19x minus equals 50. Okay, this is it's typical of this book. It's an awkward one. All right, guys, bring the 11 out of your side. What you get? Oh, thank you. I'm wrong. That's good. Thanks, buddy. I wanted to be wrong. 7, isn't it? Thanks. Bring the 7 out of your side. What happens? it comes a plus 7, doesn't it? What's 50 plus 7? 57. What happens to the 19? 57 divided by, and x equals, what's x equal? That's, anybody? 3. Last part, really awkward part, says verify your answer. To verify your answer, you just sub it back into the original at one point. Lads, I'll put up recordings of this stuff to help you out over the weekend, right?